that is not even the case, you have a really good dash attack with which to pick up Gyro. And Greninja has a low profile and the mobility to deal with these projectiles. The question is, how is Hobbes going to keep Anarchy out? Well, look at these follow-ups. Z-drop neutralize as well, saying, hey, maybe I'm a little robot too. Look what I can do.
Between Z-drop neutralizers and Z-drop, some of the Z-drop downer shenanigans you can get and Z-drop drag down, Greninja with Gyro is absolutely terrifying. Like, Anarchy's showing that early, too. It's going to be interesting to see what Hobbes does with Gyro for the remainder of this set, because they just got chased around, caught on the platform in the same way they were catching their opponents earlier today, and now they're just we're not seeing the Gyro come out. They are definitely scared by what we're seeing from Anarchy coming out of the gate swinging so far.
Yep, you got a couple of down tilts, but here's the issue between the two of them. Anarchy gets a down tilt, oh buddy, the actual damage output capabilities are going to be unmatched. Anarchy playing so aggressive here, smothering Hobbes. This is what this is. Hobbes is looking like a pork chop, and Anarchy is the gravy right now, but a little bit too much gravy, a little bit too much sauce on you to play it, and you're like, man, that's a little bit too heavy. So all of a sudden, 2 stocks apiece thanks to that SD. But my god, Anarchy is looking unstoppable.
Absolutely, Dara. What you were saying is that just you would know, right, as a chef, too much. It doesn't matter how good you cook, look, how well your meat is perfectly juicy if you just drown it in too much sauce. And while Anarchy got lost for a second, is managing to just continue the pressure right where they left off, finding those water kunai in the forwarder to close it out. Anarchy just is so impressive, just how fast he comes out of the gate, really forcing his opponents to catch up and play on the back foot from the beginning.
So, I want to see some more guys in short top neutralize from Hobbes, especially like whenever like your shield's getting pressure here, that thing would be huge. But drastically the laser as a means of covering the low recovery didn't necessarily work out, and now Anarchy has made it back onto the stage here. 67% dash attack, and you still have that coverage because Rob is a big boy, and that disadvantage is so brutal. Hobbes, I mean, they have not been able to land that double jump up there. That's going to take out that stock. That's the game. Another 2-minute game.
And Dara, the reset that led to that situation on just the jump nair, not fast fell, worked because literally the previous interaction, we saw Anarchy go for the exact same thing, but go for a down it.
Yeah.
And so we saw Hobbes, they tried to get away from that downer, and it just never came. Allowed Anarchy to line up that neutral air and extend the combo. Just gorgeous way to find that extra conversion.
This is an awkward disadvantage for Rob that we really have to talk about here. And it is because Rob doesn't have any quick buttons that necessarily hit below him. For a lot of characters, that's going to be the neutraler as a get off me option. Rob has a forwarder that is fast. That is the only aerial that Rob has that is relevant when it comes to landing here. You have neutraler and you have downer, and when you have a frog jumping at you at Mach speed, that is an issue. I agree with the switch. I absolutely agree with the switch. I think this is exactly what Hobbes needs to at least make sure whatever happened last game didn't happen again. Luigi has the benefit of really good disadvantage options. You have a down B, you have a neutraler, you can press buttons like no tomorrow and at least make it more difficult for Greninja to do Greninja things.
Yes, the way this character moves can be really hard for Luigi to find some of these all-important grabs, some of these important hits on, right, those stubby aerials, and Greninja's hurtbox shifts can make it really hard for Luigi to land, but pretty much any aerial he wants sets up into a tech chase, sets up into a combo. Any Luigi aerial at any percent either combos into death or combos into a 50-50 situation, which if it's right, combos into death. And so I just like the explosiveness.
Yeah, me too. And we're really just like seeing this pay off, right? We're seeing at least Hobbes have a little bit more presence going through that down beat in a similar way that we actually saw Hobbes use Rob's side beat, which is just like, hey, preemptive big multi-hit option to catch you going in a little bit too late. But right now, Anarchy has a ledge trap here. That's a throw into the back end. Doesn't connect. Once again, that Cyclone at a disadvantage is key for Hobbes.
Yeah, and I love that the situation we saw that Cyclone come out, right? After the throw didn't connect because of Luigi's floatiness. The misfires, though.
Hobbes did that edge cancel?
It did. Yeah, it misfired into an edge cancel, which unfortunately backfired because Anarchy was able to just catch out Hobbes unsuspecting the next level play, and just it's just I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah. Okay, right now looking for that plunger, not to be able to find it. Double jump, and landing with that Cyclone again and again, but really good DI is going to be keeping Anarchy alive here. Now, the question is, how does Luigi actually close him? Good jump, catching that immediate out-of-shield option, and again, really good ideas from Anarchy, and just getting unpunished through them. All you need is one of them to connect. You need one, and that's a stock, but Hobbes finally catching the landing with an up smash. Well placed, but still, look at this lead.
Yeah, people talk about Luigi being a very kind of simple-brained character. Sometimes you're just fishing for grabs, but we saw Hobbes really using the noggin so far in this set and was able to close out the stock, but not able to close the lead too much as Anarchy locking it down once again, just opting to reset neutral, weaving around these platforms, whereas Hobbes was catching his opponents on them earlier, or their opponents on them earlier. Now it's just Anarchy able to really use that desire on this different character against them.
Look at what Anarchy's doing. Anarchy's just trying to bait like a Cyclone at disadvantage here, but ooh, try to go for something a little bit cheesy. The kick into maybe the potential spike there. Anarchy doesn't get cheesed by it quite yet though. Hobbes, look. I think Hobbes was intending to set up a tech chase not on the platform, maybe they're set up a little bit too high for their comfort, but this isn't looking so good. Anarchy is dominating this match.
Yeah, and I like the way Anarchy's now out mixing in the occasional uncharged shuriken here, knowing that Hobbes wants to use on the ground this invulnerable head on the up smash, right? This great anti-air tool, just like we saw, and is starting to mix in grounded shurikens like we saw a moment ago, to try and at least condition Hobbes away from it. Try to find that opening to get those landing aerials to find the kill confirms that Greninja wants to close out this game with.
Oh yeah, 123%, you gotta get Luigi off stage. That is going to be the most consistent way that you'll actually get the stock off. You have a little setup here, keeping themselves nice and safe with the fireball to be able to make it back on. Gets a couple of get-off-me hits, gets even more get-off-me hits, and Hobbes is slowly but surely making this comeback. Almost jumping into that up smash though. This is a really nasty position to be in, and that's gonna be the win box kill finally. Anarchy went through that time after time again. All you needed was for one of them to connect for the 3 stock at any given point. You just needed one.
And Dara, that was just brutal because I had wanted to talk about how good Hobbes delays on some of these green missile timings, on some of these super jump punch timings were to find a way around Greninja's plethora of options to checkmate Luigi in the corner. Yeah. But it was the very end of the win box. It wasn't even like Anarchy had timed it perfectly. It was just Hobbes got a little too overambitious, and that was
you gotta think about the layers of these edge guards. Anarchy is getting away with 10 separate coin flips when it comes to Luigi getting back onto the stage here, right? Which is the first test. I'm gonna jump out there. Okay, do you double jump? No? Okay, then I get to go back on. At least I forced out a resource. Are you gonna go low? Maybe I'll cover this with up B. Okay, you made it back on. That's fine because I'm still in advantage here. All you need is at any point during those layers for one of them to connect, for you to get an entire stock. So it was inevitable that if you flip a coin enough times, you'll get, 2 heads in a row. You'll get your snake eyes if you roll the dice enough times.
And I mean, as a snake player, I'm gonna be honest, I quite like my snake eyes, but trying to find it, the down air into the conversion, Anarchy, just the 0 to death to start things off, Dara.
Oh yeah.
This frog's taking no quarter right now.
Yep, Anarchy's looking a little bit unstoppable at this point. Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a scuttlebug.
Oh yeah. Hobbes is going through funny options, trying to go through like a misfire tech chase potentially here, and Anarchy is not having any of it. Still falling out of the Cyclone and able to punish it on the way back down because Greninja is a fast faller. Now Anarchy is connecting Shadow Sneaks. This game is over.
Yep, I agree. I think the confidence Anarchy is playing with is just unparalleled. And you mentioned falling out of the Cyclone. Anarchy has been so good regardless of the matchup, right? And just using Greninja's drift. And his knowledge of these multi-hit buttons to just find his way past right, them all connecting, and he's falling out consistently enough that it's intentional based on drift, locking down the edge guards as well, and Hobbes not being able to find that magic off stage again is I think the end of this game.
It's hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And Anarchy is constantly hoping for the best, which is to fall out of it
Oh,
and
no.
still being
That's
able to punish it. That's going to be the counter. That's going to be the spike. With a JV3, technically speaking, Anarchy going to be taking out this winner's finals in a completely undominated, uncontested fashion. That was all Anarchy. Game 2 was a little bit promising, but then Anarchy buckled down for a second and realized something. Hey, wait a second. My game plan's this simple. I wait for you to press button on the way back down, and I'm going to catch you landing. Ah, you're off stage? Alright, I have 20 million tools, and I should be theoretically taking your stock every single time.